Welcome to Excellence in Utilities, our weekly 10-minute podcast that explores how the utilities sector can unlock its hidden excellence. In every team, every process and every challenge, the potential for excellence already exists. Join us every week as we uncover how utilities can tap into that excellence from within, uniting purpose, people and process to deliver sustainable performance, transformation and lasting impact. Later on in this podcast, I'll be inviting you to take part in our free benchmarking exercise to give you a chance to see how your organisation compares when it comes to excellence. Today I'm joined by Colin Duguid, who heads up continuous improvement here in Scottish Water, and we're going to be talking about the importance of embedding CI in an organisation to support operational excellence. So Colin, great for you to join us today. Thank you very much for doing that. Over the past couple of years, you've built up a really strong CI academy. Tell me about how the academy is made up and how it runs for Scottish Water.
No problem. So our academy in Scottish Water is made of 3 levels of lean. So we've got white belt, yellow belt and green belt. Our white belt is focused on creating problem seekers. So how can we train up and upskill people so they can identify problems every day in their day-to-day work. Then we've got the yellow belt and green belt. So they're based on practitioners or problem solvers. So how do we take those problems that people have found in day-to-day work and problem solve them and find solutions. We have an in-house team of lean experts who do the training internally now to yellow belt and green belt, and we've got an automated online white belt now for people to go into when it's better suits them.
Cool, that sounds quite good. So you've got a real mix of people, I guess general, not low level, but a good basic knowledge where people can understand what it's about, start to spot stuff, and then more developed people to fix that and drive it better. So you've been going for quite a few years now. How many people have been through this academy, and what type of benefits and impacts are you now seeing having on the business because of that academy?
So we've been going now for a number of years, probably 4 or 5 years. Right now we've trained about 35% of the staff in Scottish Water. So that equates to around 1,600 white belts, 230 people having done the yellow belt training, and about 50 green belts. We've got about 50 leaders as well have been through some of the leadership development we've put in place. In terms of the type of benefits we've found, they're wide ranging because we're leaning in all teams and functions across the business. So the types of benefits we found are centred around improving day-to-day operations, customer service, to financial reporting, to how we manage our assets and how we do projects to improve our assets and also change projects.
So it sounds like quite a wide-ranging impact actually, with a high number involved. So I guess you're getting operational benefits out there as well as the cultural change of getting them involved in driving improvement, which is really helpful, which is great. I guess it's a well-established programme then, it's having a big impact. Where did you start? How did you start? Because I guess some people watch this and go, that sounds fantastic. How on earth am I going to train 1,000 people? Where did you start and how did you get it going?
Yeah, so we started early on as a work stream within a transformation function that was set up a few years ago, and we were interested in trying lean to see what it could deliver for us in terms of impact to transform the business. And so we started with a small pilot, and we focused on one small team who were engaged and bought into the concept. We trained that team all to white belt, and then we trained the team to yellow belt, and we got them working on solving a problem in that team. We used that to then demonstrate benefits, potential value, about scalability, about rolling this out across the business over a number of years. The pilot was very successful. We clearly see the benefits in terms of making life better for our people, about creating more efficient and effective ways of working that are focused on delivering value. So.
I guess we see that in lots of organisations, that whole, well, let's try it, that's a proof of concept we call it, and how do we make sure it works? And I suppose there's an opportunity then of if it maybe works and if it don't, you can tweak things and change it and get it to work into yours. And I know we worked quite a long time ago, we had a phrase, didn't we, about let's put a kilt in this. How do we put it into Scottish Water language to make it fit, which is really good. So we've got a great academy running, lots of people trained, and you mentioned it was driven by transformation initially. How do you then start going about embedding that into the day-to-day business? So it's not seen as a separate thing. I want a training course and transformation's in it. And then how do you kind of align it to local results? How do you make it part of the day-to-day business rather than
So we started off doing projects, which we had to do to show that by doing these projects it delivers value, but it's not a sustainable way of continually improving our business. So we eventually realised there's a lot of interconnected elements to this, around aligning to purpose, having clear objectives, managing performance, measuring the right things, and then taking action to drive improvement where things aren't as effective as you like them to be. So that helps create that aligned improvement to strategy, to business ambitions, which is really important, which also helps create more of the general buy-in and special leadership buy-in across the business, and you can show that you're actually helping drive the business forward in the direction it needs to go. So that was really important. Also at a kind of team level, so as I said, we've trained up people in pockets around the business, and when we've started to build capability to a certain level, we're starting to build what we call improvement hubs, where we're starting to bring people together who are reasonably capable in doing projects and seeking improvements out, and bringing them together within a sphere or a team or a function and start to get them to self-generate improvements. If you get a hopper or a backlog of improvements, then they can then turn into improvement.
Cool. And I guess then with the improvement hub, you've got it, I guess two things. It's owned by local teams then, and it's aligned to, do you know what, rather than just have got a project to do the training, there's a particular thing we want to try and fix in my business make better, which kind of makes sense. So when we do these podcasts, we always talk about, the great things that are going on, the fantastic results that we've had, and we know that's not always the case. There's always challenges and things don't go well. So tell me about some of the things that didn't go so well, or some of the bits that you struggled with, and some of the challenges you still might see in kind of setting up and running an academy.
Sure. So one of the first things we've seen was around project completion rates. So we found that projects were taking quite a long time to complete, where people were struggling to balance doing the job with improving the job. So it's creating that culture shift for people to actually see that improvement's part of the day job, and how to actually create and devote time to do an improvement. So we were seeing projects taking quite a long time to complete. We're starting to work on that now, and we're seeing improvements there. The other thing we've seen is around second and third projects from practitioners.
Yeah.
So how do we get that improvement cycle moving, whereby people are actually doing second and third projects? We are seeing improvements there. We're going to introduce improvement hubs, where there's that hopper and backlog of improvements in the business area, and then that's starting to turn into further projects for practitioners.
Good. I guess that kind of neat's nice, isn't it? You get people shifting from the or doing a project to get through the academy and get my training to actually, do you know what, with the improvement hubs, I've got real things I want to fix. So I'm now going to use the training to fix business problems, which kind of gets the momentum, which is good. So you've been through this journey. You've kind of started small and built a big academy, which is, you trained hundreds of people. It's starting to have an impact on the business. People who are watching this going, that sounds great, but how on earth am I going to build something so big? What advice would you have to an organisation that's looking to start an academy? Where would they start? What are your top insights for them?
Sure. So one of the best things we did was start small. So start small, prove the concept, and prove the value of lean early. That helps overcome any scepticism. It lays the foundation for a wider rollout team by team and creates a scalable approach. Also, you need leadership commitment from the start. Without that, lean just doesn't stick in the business. So as you're going around team by team, engaging leaders, making sure they're part of this and they know the behaviours that drive lean in their area, and also with the wider leadership community, making sure that there's a general awareness and what's required from leaders to make lean thrive in the business. And as I said, also there's a lot of other kind of foundational enablers that we need to put in place to ensure it's sustainable and aligned to purpose of the business. So connecting with purpose, connecting with strategy, and measuring the right things to make sure you're driving improvement in the right areas are key.
Cool. That's a nice balance, actually. It takes us back to the three things we keep talking about in these podcasts around process, purpose, and people. So that purpose is really important, of how we fixing the right stuff, the process, how we managing it really well, but also the people side, the leadership side, and getting them on board, which is really important. Cool. Yep. Colin, thank you for your time today.
No problem.
I really appreciate that. And thank you for joining us today on Excellences in Utilities. Just a reminder, as part of this series, we're inviting established utility providers to apply for our utilities benchmarking study. That's designed to better understand, share, and collaborate around the industry-wide challenges of delivering excellence. Every participating organisation in that will receive an excellence gap assessment, a full detailed report, and a road mapping session with an SA Partners team member. And that'll help you understand better your unique journey to excellence. Apply now to see where excellence lives in your organisation and how to find it, nurture it, and sustain it using the QR code on the screen or the link in the podcast overview. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week on Excellences in Utilities.